stares, beats, burgers, and brain smells. That is what you get in this Rainn Wilson-driven comedy, although he doesn't do much driving. We're doing Code 3 today. It's a comedy drama, starring the officer's Rainn Wilson. He is a paramedic with about 18 years service. He's getting a bit burnt out. He's going through getting some panic, having panic attacks. He is desperate to get out, has a job interview to try and do that, but he's got to train a newbie for a 24-hour shift along with his partner, Mike, and they get up to all sorts of things over a rather hectic 24-hour period. Not what I was expecting going in. I thought it was going to be just a bit of a laugh a minute. It was going to be funny. But it's not saying it's not funny, but it's very, very heartfelt at times.
It's deep for a comedy,
yeah. Right? And I think it's very American as well, obviously, because it's very much about the American healthcare system. You know, there's certain times where they talk about how some people, you know, they paranoid schizophrenics in a month they get 20 pills. So what happens in those other 11 days of a month where they don't have their pills? He's obviously got his partner Mike, who is played by Lil Ray Howery. You've got Amy Carrero, who plays the newbie Jessica, who's she wants to be a paramedic. We'll get into that little plot device that happens later in the film in a moment. Yeah. Rob Riggle, who is generally this, you know, hilarious comedian. He plays this absolute jerk of a doctor called Dr. Serrano.
But always the jerk. Always the jerk.
Right?
Everything I've seen him, like 21 Jump Street, he's the jerk. Everything.
But then he gets his little moment because obviously they have lots of to and fro between them, because every time, you know, Rainn Wilson's character is Randy. Every time they bring a new patient in, he's like, "What are you doing? Why have you got this here? What have you done with this one? You're doing this wrong," and all that. But then he has his little moment where he goes, "You know, I've got 25 beds that are always full. I've got 8 hours waiting time. I've got people upstairs paging me all the time. They want to cut my budget, and I've got to be nice." It's just like, oh, he's gone through it as well. So it's not just
he's going through it. It's one of my nitpicks. I think the name of the doctor is Dr. Serrano. He's a bit too much of a jerk. I understand. And I really like the beginning as well, when they are showing the pay discrepancy between the different medical professions. And yes, the doctors are being paid a lot more than the EMS, the paramedics. And yes, he's going through things. He needs to run the place. He needs to allocate the beds. He needs to call when a patient is dead or not. He needs to do the paperwork. He needs to bring them back to life when the paramedics are coming. I understand that he can be frustrated, but you can tell that they are doing their best. They are bringing the patient, and he's saying all the vitals, he's saying all the stuff, and Serrano always picks the little thing to be an absolute a-hole about it. And that rubbed me a little bit of the wrong way, to be fair. I was like, okay, you can show that he's going through things and he's frustrated at the system, not necessarily the paramedics, the system that they're all part of, and the system is a bit broken, because this is what the movie, in spite of being a comedy, is really showing in some scary ways. Yeah, that was just a bit of a nitpick. I don't know if it annoyed you or not, but it rubbed me a bit of the wrong way.
No, I found it almost refreshing when he kind of explained himself why. It gave him almost an out to why he is like he's Randy as well. He's burnt out himself. He's gone through the motions as well. He's not a young man. He's probably in his mid-50s. He's probably about the same age as Randy. You know, and then, you know, he's obviously working this long ass shift as well. He's got to, because every time that they're bringing a patient in, he's there, and so he's obviously doing his own 24-hour shift. So it's all the American healthcare system is just it's only run by corporations who want to make money, and it's just like I think it didn't go too much into that because otherwise it was probably maybe a little bit too political, but it very much it was probably an underlying kind of theme that this is what the American health system is kind of doing to people.
Yeah, and this is what the life of a paramedic is as well, because I was reading some Reddit stories of actual paramedics about this movie, and they were saying it's pretty accurate, the depiction of what is a paramedics, and even and this is the thing that I can relate to. So I did a first aid class, and I'm certified because I needed that for my workplace. And I always get frustrated in movies when they are doing the wrong things. Especially after doing that, because you're supposed to do not the job of a paramedic, but you are supposed to be the person that can do something until the paramedic is actually coming, and then the paramedic will bring to the hospital with the doctors and the nurses, etc. And in movies, they always get it wrong. And when you know these kind of things, you're like, oh, get it right just for once. And in this movie, they actually get it right. What you're supposed to do when you're supposed to start CPR, you're not supposed to stop CPR until somebody can relay you at the hospital, etc., etc. And I enjoy that. That's why I went there. Okay, well, I'm not a paramedic, obviously, but is it actually accurate? And when actual paramedics tell you, yes, it's actually pretty accurate, it's like, I like that. That's good. It's good research, and then it brings proper awareness to what the profession actually is.
Yeah, and the guy who wrote the screenplay apparently was a paramedic for about 12 years, so he's got his life experience in the film. So Randy is obviously Rainn Wilson. He's got his kind of long-time partner, Mike, and then they've got Jessica, who is the trainee.
Yeah,
I wrote some notes at the beginning because we'll get into the twist in a second, but she seemed like she was going to be a cliche character because she's going to be this, why are you doing this? You know, she's questioning them all along. You know, why are you doing these things the way you are? You know, you could lose your license if you do that. And it's like, well, actually, we're not taking him to the ER because it's just going to tie up beds. It's going to cost the government money. It's just or I could just give him my breakfast and he's happy because he's on his meds. This one is fine. This was Johnny, the one at the beginning. This guy's okay. He's just hungry. He just wants to have a meal.
Yeah.
If I give him his. So obviously throughout the entire movie, she does question them a little bit. One thing I didn't like too much was she opened up too early about her mum. She did that story about her mum.
I agree. I actually thought that was going to be like a joke or something, that she was going to say, no, nobody's got a sad backstory or something like that. But then goes to the other scene. I was like, this is weird. Nobody asked you.
Yeah, because it's only like 27, 28 minutes in, because she's seen that Randy's had his first panic attack, and it's just like, oh, that's a little bit, okay, that's just bring that in later. That would be my bit of a nitpick. I
don't even think that this backstory is needed. She doesn't need a backstory to understand why she went into healthcare. It's just like, no, why don't you just, she might have that backstory, she might not. Just let her action speak and understand how she's a caring person, because you can really feel that, especially with the kid that gets a baseball in his heart that stops his heart. There's such a heartfelt moment, and how she steps in and she starts speaking Spanish to the people around. It's like, wow, you get goosebumps in that scene.
Oh, right. And the music and the score and just the way all the people are clapping them, and just even the way that the camera moved it and the lighting, it was just, that just really, that one got to me. And then, and then sadly the kid doesn't make it. And it's just like, oh, Jesus, that just shows how true this film is about healthcare. And so the very end, when
and life and how,
right. We're going to get into the twist that she's actually a doctor, and she's been doing this right along just to kind of I guess, get the feel of it. It's like, that is how you do a twist. I liked that twist, that she was actually a doctor the whole time. I thought that was so well done and so cleverly written, because she's obviously just defending Randy and Mike about how, they've done everything for this. She's yelling at Dr. Serrano, and she's like, actually, I'm the new I'm your new resident. It's just like, and then Dr. Wriggle goes, oh, we're going to have so much fun together. So much fun. I loved that. That was so good.
That was a good moment. I like that.
Yeah. There's some really, really, really good moment with Mike when they've got Charlie, who is the PTSD. He's from Iraq or something like that. And he thinks he's obviously off his meds, the character that we spoke about earlier, where they only get 20 pills a month for 31 days in a month. That also goes into with police, how they're not good at conflict resolution. I thought that was a very good kind of play on that.
Yeah, it's good. It really taps into how the reality of things, because I don't know if you've been around a lot of nurses or people working in healthcare. I've been, when I was a student, I was living with 6 other people in an apartment, and they were all studying to be nurses.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's the kind of people, I think it's the same as teachers. You really need to be built for it. It's the people that would see the worst stuff, and be the toughest people, but also have the highest empathy all at the same time. And I have such respect for these people. It takes a certain type of people, and knowing how they are being rewarded, especially in terms of money and sometimes of underappreciation, it says a lot. And in that scene, the way that Mike is talking down the president and calming down, and the way that he does it, and you can feel how it's like he cares. He really cares. It's very heartfelt, and it feels really real.
Yeah. And Randy's got it all the way through the film as well. He gives his muffins to the guy at the beginning when they go to the nursing home. And it's a very small scene. I don't know if you caught it, where Randy fixes the woman's photo. He wants to, it's just something like that little thing. He's just got that care factor about him. He really cares about what he's doing. And it's just, I don't know why it was included, but it was powerful to me. It was really an important kind of little moment that he did.
It shows the level of care that he has, even though he comes across as a bit of an a-hole. He does care. And that scene in the nursing home when they are trying to blame on the paramedics for coming too late, when they're actually the ones that messed up because they didn't check and the patient was dead for more than 4 hours. And then when you have, what's her name, Sherry's?
I think Sherry's, what was her name? Let me go up to it. It was, Shanice.
Shanice, sorry, the head of the paramedics. The way that she's handling that phone call, I love that. It's like,
right?
Yes, be my boss.
Yeah, because that is what you want from a boss. You want a boss to go to bat for you. And she does. And I love the fact that, I think it's Yvette Nicole Brown, who's from Community. She's actually started an episode of The Office where she hated Dwight. And so it was just, I thought that was just great that they brought her in. It's very, very visceral at times as well. It's not a movie for kids. It's got a lot of swearing. Like there's this one 2 or 3 minute rant where Randy's just, no, I've had enough, and he's just F this and F that. And it's about 50 F words in about 2 or 3 minutes. It's great.
I think it's needed, because I think if you put some sugar on it and you make them say not swear words, it wouldn't come across as natural. I think when you're burnt out and when you're seeing this kind of crap day in and day out, you're not watching your mouth. I think it just needs to come out.
I want to go into one last little bit. There's the moments of relief in the moments of terror when they go to that traffic accident near the end. You've got the whole car of all dead people. There's a woman who's been thrown out of a car, and they find the dummy, and you're like, oh my God. And then he hears the baby crying in the back seat. And it's just like that little moment of relief that they must get from time to time, because there's all this terror around them. And it's just, it just,
when it works out. Because they're very desensitized to it. Eventually you have to be able to compartmentalize. Otherwise,
of course,
you can't live this way.
No, you've got to be a very, very good, a special type of person to work in healthcare. So just to even be a nurse or a doctor or a paramedic, it's some other things I really loved. It's a very pretty film to watch as well. I thought there was a couple of moments. It's at night time. I can't remember what just happened, but he asked Mike to turn on the lights, and he's like, I can't. And he's like, please just turn on the lights. And they do, and he's just looking out the window, and you just see the blue and red flashing lights just on everything. It was just,
it's a nice
just something about
movie.
that.
I like the way that they are breaking the fourth wall as well, the way that he's talking to the audience. Usually you can feel a bit cliche and it's done, but here you understand, okay, he's actually telling us a story. He's telling us a story about how it is to be a paramedic, and it's not necessarily something that he can work in a conversation that would feel natural with his colleagues. So he's breaking the fourth wall, and he's just telling us. And I thought it was pretty clever, because it was pretty informative as well.
Yeah, it had an almost Ferris Bueller kind of fourth wall break. So, because it wasn't, it was his kind of, I guess, his inner monologue, but he was kind of talking directly to the camera. So it's just, I really like that. Is there anything else you would like to bring up on this one?
Just one thing. What did you think of the ending? The fact that he goes back to being a paramedic.
Yeah, I liked that. I thought that was it was where he needed to be. It was where he needed to be. I really like that, because I don't think yourself.
I was slightly disappointed. It doesn't ruin the movie per se. I was just a little bit disappointed because, look, this is where I'm coming from. It's obviously he's been burnt out by this life, and he has been doing it for 18 years. It's a very, very long time. I don't know, maybe I would have preferred an ending where he is allowed to take a breath and have an easier life, I guess, or, removed from all the stress. It doesn't have to be one or the other. I thought it was a bit, I don't want to say cliche, but sort of that, now he's going to this other life and he finds it boring and it's not for him. So he comes back to the thing that has burnt him out. I don't know. It's like coming back to a bit of a toxic relationship, sort of. I was like, no, just let him. He has put 18 years into that. Maybe let him have a look at an ambulance and remembering the good time and all the good that he did. But it doesn't mean that he wants to go back in it. I don't know. This is where I was like, okay, I understand, but it feels a bit contrived in the writing. Yep. That's how it felt.
That's fair enough. I don't overly disagree with that. Yeah, because maybe he could have, I don't know, because then it might have been a movie where it just needed to keep going, and then they just needed to kind of cut it off. And he's an ambulance officer again, and just
it felt a little too black and white, Or even if he was not happy in the insurance world, then maybe come back and be a trainee, or come back and take Shanice's job because now you can graduate into, something else, like a bit, it feels a bit, maybe that's what is a bit frustrating in air quotes, is that you're back to square one. So okay, you told us a very nice story, but you're back to square one. So where is the growth? Where is the evolution? Where is the
I suppose that's where the only thing the film really lacks is that kind of narrative structure of a beginning, middle, end. There's no, you're right. It just does a big 360, doesn't it?
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what also didn't wow me, but it's okay.
There you go. Cool.
Alrighty. Let's go into scores.
I really like this one. Look, I'm on the fence of where I go with it. If it's a 4.5 or a 5, I'm going to give it 4.5, just because there's just some of the stuff that we brought up where the pacing, maybe that ending where it didn't really give a resolution. But other than that, really good film. I highly recommend it. Not for kids. So if anyone out there is a The Office fan, even though he's got kind of similar...
I wouldn't show kids The Office either.
Maybe not. Depends on how old they are. Yeah, very, very good film. Highly recommend.
Cool. I give it a 4 out of 5. It's a very good movie. It's better than what I was expecting. Just watching the trailer, I thought it was going to be a light comedy, but it is a comedy, but it's also very deep and very heartfelt and very informative about being a paramedic in the US, especially with the US healthcare system, where it's infuriating that health is a privilege and not a right. But yeah, it's besides the little nitpicks that I had, especially the ending, and I thought they went a bit too far with the character of Serrano. I would have liked him a bit more, I guess, composed, but still frustrated. But those are really, as we're saying, nitpicks. Otherwise, it's a very good movie, and I think it needs to be talked about a bit more widely and definitely discovered and watched by many, many, many people. So 4 out of 5.
Wonderful. All right. Well, that is it from us this week. Please let us know what you thought of this one. Agree, disagree. And as always, wherever you're listening to us, please give us a like and a follow. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks very much.